Cobra.
What's going on, everybody? John J. II here with Gym Promotions, coming at you live around 10 o'clock Eastern on the East Coast. It's halftime. Baltimore Ravens, Las Vegas Raiders, 14-10. Baltimore takes the lead, keep the lead. It's kind of a little bit shifty going into halftime here. I'm not really sure how to call this one. It's looking a little bit dicey going into halftime. I don't really know, who's going to take over offensively. Been a defensive showdown. It was for most of the first quarter. Las Vegas held Baltimore to a single touchdown. Baltimore held them to 0 in the first, and then Las Vegas came back and scored 10 going into halftime. And it was I saw more fire coming out of the Las Vegas offense going into halftime, which was a little bit surprising to me. I saw Derek Carr getting shut down quite a bit in the backfield. The defense was really doing their job. The offensive line, they're very young for Las Vegas, so they're seeing a lot of holes there, a lot of false start calls, things of that nature. So I don't really know how to call this one going into halftime. I was a little more confident watching the early parts of the first half. I'll just share my bet real quick, and then we'll go into the live watch party more into halftime here with the commentary. But my pick was Baltimore minus 4.5. Got them plus 100 on the BetMGM Sportsbook, and I like those odds. I got them last second. I actually put that bet in right before they scored their first touchdown to Marquise Brown, and that was actually, no, that was their second touchdown. But the first touchdown to Tyson Williams, that was a great touchdown. But I put that bet in right before that first touchdown, so I was happy about it. Looking at Baltimore's offense, seeing Lamar Jackson looking really shifty in the backfield, looking really confident back there in the pocket, getting out of trouble and finding the short pass when he had to. Scrambling for the first down. So I really liked what I was seeing from Lamar going into, a lot of those first quarter, second quarter exchanges. And they seem to be piercing through the Las Vegas defense quite a bit. It was a defensive showdown. I'll retouch on that. And a lot of these teams are showing that in week one. What is the defense capable of? What are they able to do? How many stops they're able to make? How many sacks are they willing to get on the quarterback? Things like that. These early season stats are going to be very key going into, the latter half of the season and midseason. We're still very early, first weekend. We're looking hot. So I'll kind of just share my screen a little bit. We can look at some odds, but yeah, my pick is, as you can see right there, Baltimore -4.5 going into, the second half. And I put that bet in right before I live bet it. Got those odds right before they scored their first touchdown. So if we scroll down here, we see that the opening line was Baltimore -3. So obviously not super ideal. We see a lot of propaganda right here on the ESPN website. So hopefully I don't get flagged for that. Let me try to zoom in on this section. And wrong screen. Hold up. Just bear with me. Technical difficulties, folks. And let me see if I can get away from these ads. I don't know if it's going to let me. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So Baltimore -3, over under 51. I'll put that on the screen for you guys real quick. So over under 51. Is that over going to hit? Is that under going to hit? Nobody really knows. What do we usually bet here at Gym Pros? If anyone can answer that for me, I'll give you props. I'll showcase you real quick. But to answer your question before you get it to me, is we always usually bet the over. So we like to bet the overs right there in the 50 spot, anywhere from 45 to 55. You're kind of in a sweet spot. And I would call that a bailout move for the bookies out there in Vegas, because they're looking to trap bettors into making certain picks one way or another, where it really could go either way. Obviously, you're going to see some low-scoring games where they might net 40-some points and easily crush that under, even if it is at 49 or 50. But you see games going up to 70. You've seen the San Francisco Lions game, a late push from the Lions and Dan Campbell. That was kind of crazy. We'll touch on that here in a second. But, really impressive stuff. But you can see how those overs, even at 50, 60 points, can get crushed real easy, even late in the game. So keep an eye on that going into the season too. Got a comment here from Robert Rocco. Need one field goal from Tucker to win the week in one of my leagues. Come on, golden leg. Hey, Robert, I think you're in one of my leagues, so I'm rooting for you, buddy. Unless you're going against me, then in that case, then I'm kind of going against you, bud. So I don't know who you got, but we'll talk about some fantasy stuff too here in a little bit. I want to talk about some fantasy stuff. So just to clear the air, we're using an app called Sleeper, and I hope Billy Keefe is watching this, because I gave him a little bit of shit for using Sleeper. I've always liked the ESPN app, used it my entire life. Really easy to set up a PPR league without making it too complicated. I think we're doing 3 flexes where we're allowed to use a quarterback as a flex. So that's kind of interesting to me. Usually I do 2 flexes max, and quarterbacks are pretty much off limits as far as being in a flex position. So that's kind of crazy to play in a league like that. So let me look at our league real quick. It's called The League with a trophy emoji. I'm playing against AP3X, one of our own streamers here, Austin Petty, Country Roads, Take Mahomes. I love that name, by the way, and I think I kind of topped that name, and I got to shout out Ray Allen for this. But my team name is My Ball Zach Ertz. So I don't know if we're gonna have a competition for the best team name, but I guess we'll see. Robert, I don't know. Let me check you out real quick. I might be able to even sign into Sleeper here, and I'll go to my face real quick, and I'll show you guys the. I'm gonna sign into my Sleeper so we can look at some fantasy stuff while it's still halftime here. Got a couple more comments. Travis Kagi, need more Kenyon Drake in the second half. I couldn't agree more. We're going to need to see a lot more out of him if they're going to want a dub tonight. So it's it's kind of up in the air. Keggy's in my other league, the Gin Pros League. And let me check how you did. How'd you do this week, Keggy? I got to check real quick. And I'll pull it up on the screen here in a second, but I'm just going to pull it up on my phone. A lot of low scores in the Gin Pros League. I see a lot of scores under 100 points, which is kind of crazy. I topped out at 151.88 against More is Better. More is Better. He's at 165.12. I had a couple of high-scoring players for himself. CD Lamb really did good work for him this week for the Cowboys, put up 23.4. And his quarterback, Dak Prescott, obviously, playing some favorites there. And as far as Dallas goes, scoring close to 30 points, 29.42. So doing really good. Give you credit. Yeah, it's just kind of crazy. It's still very early, guys. We're not really too worried about fantasy scores, getting into different specifics. It is what it is, and we're going to get into it. Robert, with the other comment, in our league, my team's trash. Okay, those are your words, not mine. Okay, so I got it here, guys. Let's look at this real quick. So the league, my Balzac Ertz, I'm at 1% possibility to win. I'm at 135.04. I think all my players have played. And I got Latavius Murray. He's not really seen too many touches tonight, so I'm not really feeling too good about him getting any more. Tyson. Who did I just say? What did I just say up here? Tyson Williams. He's been getting all the touches tonight for Baltimore. He's been getting fed the ball like breakfast on a Sunday morning. I'm talking bacon and eggs, just feeding him the ball, and he's giving them touchdowns. So I'd like to see more touchdowns through the air from Lamar, but even if he gets a couple rushing touchdowns, I wouldn't be too bummed. So we'll see what happens coming into the second half. Uncle John with a comment: need points tonight. Baltimore D, Lamar Jacobs need to ball out for me. I'm playing versus Waller. Okay, so you're gonna need a lot from there. We need to see more firepower coming out of this Baltimore camp on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, come on. This is an offensive team. They're an offensive dominant team. That's what's brought them so many promising seasons. Yeah, they've fallen short pretty much every single year, but we want to see some more firepower. We know this team has potential, and we know that they're able to get the win, and hopefully they're able to cover tonight, because I'm really, really hoping on this one. Got a lot of money riding on this bet. Not going to tell you the exact amount, but we got a lot of money riding on it. So let's look at the league. We'll kind of just look at, see how the league's doing. So we got this right here. Let me see if I want to be able to pull up. How can I pull up how every team is doing? Here we go. So my Balzac Ertz versus AP3X. Looks like AP3 is going to take the win. Here you go, Rocco. Team Rock and Rocco against the Cosby Sleepers. I don't know the Cosby Sleepers or who runs that, but looks like they're going to get you this week. They're projected 192.55, so he's got to have people playing tonight. We'll just take a quick peek at his team right now. Oh, so he's got Lamar Jackson. So there you go. He's got you at 117. Looks like you just went up to 119, though. I don't know how that just happened. Do you have someone playing? Okay, yeah, you got a couple playing. On both sides of the ball. But listen, it's still very early, but look at these teams. Team Billy Belichick from Billy Keefe himself against Team NDB 818. They're well over 200. Billy's got 225, while Team NDB's got 242.88. Like, my 135.04 is not going to compete with that, even in a PPR league, 3 flex, 1 QB flex league. You're looking at some serious anomalies. You're looking at a lot of different fluctuations, and you're going to see these types of matchups where they're just getting people blown out of the water. Looks like most of these are pretty well matchups, at least for week 1. But we know a lot of these teams are going to be playing against each other going into the latter half of the season and throughout the midseason, and that will basically set up the picture for the playoffs as far as fantasy goes. And I'm interested to see how that's going to go in fantasy. Okay, so Jackson just made a pass to Andrews. Looks like the tight end. Hopefully it's going to be a pass interference call. Let's hold our breath here. We're going to look at this real quick. And I got it muted so you guys don't hear it. And it looks like, what is that, a block in the back? Or illegal contact? Yeah, and John Gruden's pissed off, so it looks like it's going our way, guys. But we're really looking for Baltimore to cover tonight. Okay, that's kind of like the whole night's riding on this. I just want to touch on one more thing. Let's talk about let's talk about the Tampa Bay Dallas game. And I know Uncle John's going to chime in on this because his beloved Cowboys took it on the nose late in the game. There's 1 minute left. You really don't think the GOAT's going to come all the way down the field and at least get the boys in field goal position to then make Suckup kick that field goal for the dub. I mean, it happened. So that's not going to be the only time it happens this year. So watch out for these guys. We'll get into more fantasy stuff soon, guys, but the third quarter just started, so we'll talk about that briefly. Okay, hands of the face. It was a hands of the face call. Love to see it. Love to see it when it's not going against my team. Uncle John with a comment, how many guys you got burner by Rodgers? I got burned by Rodgers. That was a nightmare against the Saints yesterday. And it was kind of an up and down performance from both teams. Didn't really see anybody come out and swing too hard other than Jameis Winston. You got to give him the MVP of that game. Got to give him the MVP. He did what he had to do at the quarterback position, filled in for Drew Brees very well, did what he had to do to get the win and get out of there. But piss poor performance from Green Bay. Shame on me for throwing them in my parlay. Thank God they weren't the only leg of my parlay that screwed me, but it wasn't a good leg. It wasn't a good, pick to pick Green Bay money line. Cause I think I was losing. I was like minus 300 to throw that in there. So I was sick about it. And it is what it is. You want to count on Green Bay, but there's a lot of turmoil going on. I think he's still pissed off that he's in Green Bay. So there could be some friction going on there. And I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. Let's just put it that way. Chase Bailey with the comment, I was impressed with the Cowboys. I was too. I was really impressed with them, seeing Dak come back, bouncing back from that injury and really show out for the team and for Jerry and Jerry's world, all the people down there. Really impressive stuff from Dallas. Came out swinging against, Tampa Bay, the reigning champions, right? I don't want to ruffle too many feathers saying that because everyone knows I'm a Buccaneers fan and people get pissed off. But it gets a little bit dicey. Let's just say this. So we're gonna be looking for this. We're gonna be looking for this the entire year. We're gonna be watching these teams. We're gonna be watching these matchups. So Chase, you bring up the NFC East. Very good to bring that up because who wins the NFC East? That's a great question. The NFC East is pretty stacked this year. Obviously excluding teams like the Giants, teams like the Washington football team. But I really, really like the Eagles. I got to give it to the Eagles. The Eagles are going to win. I love Jalen Hurts. Just love him. Love him to death. So I threw them in a parlay yesterday. The parlay was shot to shit, so it really doesn't matter who I picked or who I threw in there. But I had the Eagles money line, and I was really confident in that pick, and they came out and did what they had to do. Look for a lot tighter spreads with this Eagles team going down the season, going down the line, for different matchups, NFC East or not. You're going to be seeing a lot of good matchups. You're going to see the odds stacked against the Eagles more times than not, just based on this Week 1 performance. So I'm really happy with what I've seen out of the Eagles camp. We'll just kind of look at them real quick, see if we can look at a depth chart real quick. So what am I looking at here? It's still in preseason. Here we go. Eagles, Falcons. So we'll share the screen again one more time. Yeah, look at that. Jalen Hurts, 27 for 35, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I love that. And Devontae Smith, did we have to do the Heisman? The Heisman winner, 71 yards, 11.8 averaged, 1 touchdown. Then Jalen Reagor and Dallas Goedert with a touchdown. So all these TDs are through the air. He's counting on players in the air to get receptions, to catch the ball. He's putting the ball in position to be able to be caught. He's not giving them hard balls. They're not giving them hard 50-50 balls where they're really difficult to catch. He's giving them these catches that are in stride and they're easy to catch. That's what we're looking for too. So I'm really counting on the Eagles, but don't count Dallas out. Dallas is going to be a serious threat going into the latter half of the season. Travis Keggy, Raiders D looking decent. Not what I wanted to hear, Keggy. Not what I wanted to hear, but I do agree with you. We just had to give the ball back to Las Vegas there. 13-10 left in the third. They really let that penalty go to waste, didn't they? The hands to the face, they really just pissed it away. And they're basically making me not cover. They want me to hedge my bet, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hold down the fort. I'm going to really stay strong, and I'm just not going to back down, basically. So I'm excited about it. Chase Bailey with another comment. Chase, thanks again for tuning in, bro. Thank you. You gave me some good love back in East Lansing. I saw you at the bars telling me that you listen to my podcast and watch my show all the time. I really appreciate you, bro. And I'm glad you're in here watching and tuning in. Two more, though. Do the Dolphins make the playoffs, and are we worried about the Bills after their terrible second half versus Pitt? So I'll touch on Buffalo Bills real quick, and we'll look at their stats. I'll just put them on the board for you guys so we can make a visualization of what's going on. And I'm doing something new tonight. I don't know if you guys noticed this. I've never really done a watch party like this. I'm really liking the attention that it's getting, though. It's really kind of cool. And I'm going to plan on doing more of these, especially, Monday Night Football. It's a great slot of time. Oh, and he just dropped the ball. So sad to see. Is what it is, guys. So Buffalo Bills. Let's talk about the Buffalo Bills. Am I worried about them after their performance against Pittsburgh? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm a big Josh Allen fan. As most of you guys know, I say Bills Mafia till I die. I say it in every single video that I post. And yes, I am worried. I'm worried about this Bills team after this performance. Now, to my defense, the Steelers have always been a burr in my ass for, especially in matchups like this. You're looking at a matchup between the Steelers and the Bills. Two powerhouse teams, two big-time offensively heavy teams. But look at that fourth quarter stat. 17 points in the fourth quarter to win it 23-16. Now, it's a relatively low-scoring game between these two teams, but I don't want to count that as an anomaly just because, it's a decently scoring game. Is it going to cover a lot of overs? Probably not. But, let's just look at these stats here. So Ben Roethlisberger, 18 for 32, 188 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. So that 0 interceptions, I think, might have been the catalyst to allow them to win that game because Big Ben really didn't come out swinging too hard. But then you look at Najee Harris. 16 carries, 45 yards, 2.8 average yards. Got to get that number up, Najee. Okay, 0 touchdowns. Chase Claypool, 0 touchdowns. Ben Roethlisberger, 0 rushing touchdowns. He's probably not going to rush. He's slower than shit back in the backfield, so you're not going to see a lot of rushing touchdowns from Big Ben. But even Juju Smith-Schuster, he's not scoring touchdowns. And just to see things not click with the offense is troublesome to me. Do the Dolphins make the playoffs? I don't know if I can answer that accurately right now. I don't know if I can. I would like to say they do. I really liked Fitz Magic when he was there, but I just don't know, man. I just don't know. That win yesterday against the Patriots was very, very lucky in my opinion. And that probably shouldn't have happened. I think Mac Jones and the Patriots should have won that. But that's my own type of, opinion, right? That's how I feel about it. Obviously, I looked for the Patriots, especially when Mac Jones came in and tried to replace someone like Cam Newton after he was let go right before the season debuted. I thought that was going to be a breath of fresh air, especially for Bill Belichick and the entire Patriots franchise. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out to be the case. Very weak on offense, not very dominant, and it just didn't happen how we wanted it to. And that's just the roll of the dice. That's part of betting. That's part of watching football. That's part of the early season. I'm talking preseason going into the regular season. That's what we deal with going into these early stages, right? And that's what the bookies are going through too. For all of my sports bettors out there, that's what these bookies are going through too. They're trying to get acclimated to what's going on. So right now, at the beginning of the season, it's the best time to beat the bookies. Okay, let's get this run. Come on, baby. I mean, what is that? 40-yard run? It's a 40-yard run, at least. Bring it past midfield. We love it. Set them up, good field position. We need to get one more touchdown to be able to cover. I mean, we could take a field goal too, but we really want a touchdown. I want to make this an easy rider. Got to get some more of these comments. Robert Rocco, Cardinals' margin of victory was the biggest shocker to me. Good to see Stafford ball out in L.A., though. Good luck on the bets, man. Thank you, Rocco. I appreciate it, man. It was really nice to see. And we're going to talk about this again, but I really don't want to. I'm not a Lions fan. I'm not even now. And even though I love Dan Campbell, I can't call myself a Lions fan. It's just how it is. But to see Matt Stafford really excel and succeed in Los Angeles, I like to see it. And my pick was with the Bears and Justin Fields. Obviously, they wanted to go the Andy Dalton route. That's going to be to their own demise. There was a little tidbit video of Andy Dalton, which kind of, just rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm not a Bears fan. I'm a Lions fan more than I'm a Bears fan. And that's shouts out to my old roommate, Josh Manson, which I had bitter hatred towards the Bears, towards him. And he knows it very well. But that's just me being from Michigan and him being from Chicago. So that's just kind of a friendly little rivalry there. But I really like Justin Fields. And what I hate even more than the Lions and the Bears is Ohio State. And Justin Fields being part of the Bears, I want to see them utilize Justin Fields. I'm looking at this so objectively, guys. I really want to see Justin Fields succeed. Back to the video of Andy Dalton. He was basically demeaning the entire reputation of Justin Fields, basically saying, this is my time. When he comes after me, he'll have his time. This is my time right now. Well, Andy, you didn't really prove it to the viewers last night and to the bettors. So shame on you for that. If you're going to have to hold that role, it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how many years you've had in the NFL. You got to be able to come out on the field and win these games, especially early on, make a statement early. If you don't do that, I mean, we got other people on our bench and our depth chart that we're going to be willing to utilize. And that's me speaking as as an offensive coordinator from the Chicago Bears, which I will hopefully never be, call my title. Okay. Travis Kagi, how about Stafford and the Rams? Ramsey was on fire last night. Just to touch on that again, I like to see Stafford in a Rams uniform. Okay, I think it's a good look for him and his family. I think it's a breath of fresh air for the entire NFL, and even for the Lions fans. I think having Goff in there as quarterback, they kind of swap spots in a way, right? I think it's a breath of fresh air for both of these young quarterbacks. Mostly talk about Jared Goff, not as much Stafford. He's on the back nine as far as his NFL career is concerned. But I like it for both players. It's a breath of fresh air for each one. So we'll see how that goes. Balls to the Waller, unstoppable. Balls to the Waller, unstoppable. And that's just how he's been playing, and that's how he's going to keep playing. And people are fighting for position early on in the season. People are fighting for position, those 50-50 roles. I talk about Andy Dalton, Justin Fields. That's a 50-50 role. Who's going to want it more? I don't care how old they are. I don't care how many years they have. Who's going to come out and give us wins? Who's going to come out and give us max yards on offense? Who's going to make those touchdowns in fourth down situations? These are questions we got to be asking. Chase Bailey, all right, this is the last one, maybe. Hey, keep them coming, bro. I got all night. The Chiefs finally looked beatable to me yesterday. I feel like the AFC is wide open for teams like Cleveland and Baltimore. Thoughts? So let's look at the AFC. What is it? The AFC East? I believe it is. Or no. It's not the AFC East. It might be the AFC North. And why don't we just have one conference? One FC. It's the AFC North. Okay, so we look at the standings here. Did the Kansas City Chiefs look beatable yesterday? Question. Now I want to answer from you guys. Give me an answer. Did they look beatable yesterday? I think they did. I think the Browns really commanded attention in that game. I think they deserved to win that game. I think they really wanted that game more than anybody else. I think what really turned the tide in the favor of Kansas City was the depth that they have on offense, the tenacity, and the conditioning. The what's the word here I'm trying to find, guys? I'm trying to say they had the endurance to go the distance and really get that win. If they didn't, then they wouldn't have won that game. Cleveland would have stomped them easily. We've seen it multiple times. We've seen the Browns come out and really dominate early in the season, but they let us down late in the season. Most of the time, at least the last couple of years, it's been enough to get them to the playoffs. But it's kind of, it's short-lived going into the playoffs and going, even past the first game. So terrible play right there. Who called that? Who called that play? I want to talk to that coordinator or whoever's upstairs calling that play. And I'm talking about the Baltimore game now, guys. I want to go and meet him, and I want to take his family to dinner. I want to talk to him, and I just want to ask him one question: why'd you run that play a 2nd and 4? Why? Oh God! All right, I'm getting all riled up, guys. Trust me, I'm going to still be on. I'll probably stay on for the rest of this third quarter. You got any more questions? Shoot them my way, and I'd love to get to them. I can talk about some more fantasy stuff too. We'll see who's leading the league in the Gin Sports Network Fantasy Football League. And let's see if I can get to the league stats. Okay. Here we go. Talk about some more fantasy stuff. And that looks like a 4th down for Baltimore. They're going to come off the field, bring out the punt crew. Not happy about that. Especially damn near the red zone. They'll probably kick a field goal here. At least that'll make me cover for a short time. So if you're looking at the thing, Team Jesus Christ is going to take the L probably to Team More is better. I'm really counting on Marquise Brown. Really counting on him. He's 4 for 4, 52 yards, 1 touchdown. I think another touchdown, and we're looking pretty good. It's going to be tight. 151, 165. I'm going to need 14. What do I need? 14 points just to tie or push. I would like to get another touchdown from Marquise Brown. It's a field goal is good from Baltimore. Justin Tucker. So feeling good there. We're covering, boys. Then we keep going down. Team Stainer against Team Michael Y9. Team Michael Y9 just absolutely dusts Team Stainer. 149.46 to 80.22. And I was talking to Stainer. Smitty, if you're watching this, Smitty. I mean, you made your team Stainer, and your @ is Stainer, so we're just going to call you Stainer. He was talking to me, and my GM Seth, and he was talking about his draft. We did all the drafts together for this league, and it's a big money league, guys. He was telling me that he was so pissed off with his draft and who he drafted. Let's see if we can go and see who he drafted first. I mean, Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback. I have Aaron Rodgers in my other league, which I'm not too happy about, so I can't really knock him too much for this. But 1.32 for a quarterback against Kyler Murray, 37.56. I mean, you might as well just hung up your cleats right there. I want to see who he got for his first pick. It had to be a running back. And I don't think I'm going to be able to rewrite history right here and right now. But it could have been Cooper Kupp maybe as a wide receiver. I don't know. I'd have to pull up the draft. But I think it's fair to say Team Stainer is going to take it on the nose this week. Team Did You Call Me? That's Seth going against Jordan Waters. Team Jordan Waters is going to take the L slightly, 123.4 to 139.68. Team Big Beard, that's my boy Cody L. Massey, co-host of the Gin College podcast. Came out with 90.98 points against Team Superlative, 154.96. And then Team Major, he looks like he's gonna probably win tonight. He's down about 3 points tonight against Team Pony Keg. That's Team Keggy, Travis Keggy. I know he might be still in here watching this. You're probably sweating a little bit. Let's see who he's got playing tonight. Okay, it's Lamar Jackson. So I want to see him fire up. No offense to you, Keggy, but that's going to be a tight one to be able to win. He's projected to get 172.97. And who you got? You got Kenyon Drake and the running back position for the Raiders. So that's a little bit of a bait and switch tactic. So we're looking at Justin Tucker. That is Major's kicker. He's already got a field goal, just got one more. He's projected to at least get one more. I think you might. Do you get him for extra points? I don't know. And, yeah, exactly. You said it. Need Drake to score. I think Drake will, have an opportunity to score, especially, 1st and 5 or 1st and goal situation. I think Derek Carr is going to hand it off to Kenyon Drake. Just me personally. So, yeah, it's going to be tough, but it's going to be a dogfight going into the bitter end. Chase Bailey, it was a weird week fantasy-wise, in my opinion. Yeah, it was. You've seen some players really excel. Some people really go off. But then you got guys like Mike Evans, 5.4 points. 24 yards, 3 for 6 receptions, one tackle. One tackle? Do you see TKL right there? Is that one tackle? It must have been on a pick. Not impressive. But yeah, really weird week for fantasy, guys. I don't know. It's kind of a little bit off. I mean, when are you going to see Aaron Rodgers get 1 point, whatever points? It's crazy. Team Yonan with the comment, Rodgers treated me great week 1, LOL. Yonan, you're either being sarcastic with me or you're played against him. It's one or the other. In that case, then yeah, it would have played in your favor, especially playing against him. So anyone that played against me, and I'm glad. The one thing I do like about Sleeper is I can look at both of my different leagues on here, and I can really look at them and break them apart. So let me look at my team. Oh, I have Dak Prescott. Oh, but I have Aaron Rodgers in my flex. Somehow he got 6.32. Not impressive. I should have had who else do I have as a quarterback? Anyone? Dang, I should have played Goddard. I do have Jalen Hurts in my other league. I think that would have won it for me if I would have played Jalen Hurts. But I think he got similar points to Pat Mahomes, and he was my first overall pick in the Gin Fantasy League draft. So it was just one of those things, and I didn't play. I'm gonna have to get more used to having a quarterback. Look at this, wide receiver RT. So that's a running back, tight end, wide receiver WRT, and then this one's WRTQ. So that allows me to put a wide receiver, a running back, tight end, or a quarterback in there, which I'd have to bonk my head to not put a quarterback in there. And I just picked the wrong one, I guess. They're going to call a flag on that, aren't they? Jeez. Look at that. The over the field ref is just waving his arms like this. Just waving his arms like this. He's just happy as a goat. Has the best view of the ball. And then the sideline ref is, you know what? I'm going to reach out of my pocket and throw this flag. Now, what is that? That pisses me off, man. That's like without even touching the ball. It's like a 60-yard gain right there. Nah, maybe not that bad, but come on. Evans drafted before Godwin in a lot of leagues. Yeah, that's kind of how it was. I mean, you're looking at last year, and just to talk about fantasy IQ again, I hate touching on it. Go watch my fantasy IQ gin and tonic, or go re-listen to my fantasy IQ podcast. But in both of those, it'll tell you very clearly that you have to kind of look at the rankings, because you're going to see if you're on auto pick, if you got a buddy, they've had buddies too that are in auto pick scenarios in a draft, and they're going to pick the top guy, top overall rank that is still available. You got to be able to learn how to use your scrolling button. So on iPhone, I think this works on Android, scroll like this, right? You got to scroll down and see who else is available. Do your research beforehand. It's too late now. You got to take these notes to be able to utilize them next year for next year's draft. Or if you do an NBA draft, you're going to have to utilize it for that too. That's a completely different dynamic though. But you got to be able to look at the players that aren't on the top of the list, because those players usually aren't going to perform as good as they're, anticipated to. And that's just the nature of the beast. You have to have played and been in fantasy leagues for a long, long time, a lot of years, to be able to understand and know that, because otherwise you're just going to be like, oh, he's still available? Oh, okay, I'll just pick him. And that's another big gain. 1st and 20 for the Raiders. Gets about 15 of it. And it seems like the Raiders have finally caught their stride. So I'll go back to my odds. -4.5, +100. I was feeling really good about that. And I'm still feeling decent about it. Not really feeling as good as I was before the game. And people were shaking their heads. I send a couple people to bet. Even though it was a live bet, you had to be, Johnny on the spot to make that pick when I did, right before they scored. And I don't even know what the odds are now. Sam, you want to check the odds for me? Please stand by. We're getting the live odds checked out. And I guess I have my phone, so I can check them out too. MGM. And also, guys, if you want to, I'm really interested to know what sports books you guys use and why. Share them with me in the comments section or DM me. I'm just really, wanting to know, just because so many people have and they swear by different sports books for different reasons. And I just want to know why. What is it?
Ravens -5.
Ravens -5. So, I mean, I'm still looking okay, but I'm hovering by that half point. What are the number? What's the number odds? Like plus minus what?
Ravens -5 at -113.
Okay, -5 at -113. Take a look on your screen. I got Baltimore -4.5 at +100. How do I get that? Is there a snafu in the programming in the app? Maybe. I guess we'll never know. Right before I clicked it, I was looking at it. Yeah, that's a huge gain. Jeez. I bet the odds just changed. But I was looking at it. I think it was like -113 or -120 or something weird like that. And I'm like, I'll still lock it in. I threw whatever I put in there. And I was like, okay, I'll make my return maybe a little bit less. But I was fine with that. And then I see it go +100. And then I started mashing that place bet button, thinking, oh, okay, it's going to be a lock. I'm seeing a lot of indecision between Derek Carr and his offense. John Gruden's looking pissed off. Looks like he's got a wedgie on the sidelines. Doesn't look like he's in the zone. He looks like he spent a lot of his winter sitting on the couch and watching Happy Days or watching Friends. And that's not going to help you on the sidelines. That's a good stop right there. Second down, we might have got no gain, maybe a yard. But I'm really holding out for these guys. If you guys have any bets out, let me know. Let me know what your bets are. Chances are, unless you live bet it 2 seconds ago, it's not going to be valid anymore. So let me know who you got tonight. I seen a huge bet. I think it was on the Barstool Sportsbook Instagram. Someone put like 120 grand on Raiders money line. Now, come on. What are you doing? Did you bonk your head? Did you smoke some of the devil's lettuce? Could have been either or both. So I could really end his marriage thinking about it. That might have been a fake bet. You know what you can do? You can do this all the time. Any sportsbook app, type in any amount. You can see the odds. You can see everything like that. You can see the potential payout, and you can screenshot it. Whether or not you hit accept bet or not, you'll never really know unless you can see the actual bet slip that they've actually placed a bet, or if they actually won the bet and the end of it's transpired. Let's see if we can hold to a field goal here. Derek Carr goes back in the pocket, gets in the flats, and it's a great stop. Hopefully not a horse collar tackle. And it's about 4th and 1. Will they go for it, or will they kick the easy chip shot? We're left in limbo for the time being. I guess while we have some time, we can go back to some fantasy stuff. And let me know how you guys are feeling about your fantasy teams. Are you feeling good after week 1? Even though it's kind of a weird week, how are you feeling? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling bad? Are you feeling iffy? Did you know right off the bat, like Stainer, and be like, you know what? I just drafted a terrible team, probably the worst team I've ever drafted in my entire fantasy football career. Because he knew right off the bat, he just scored 80 points. You know, lots of players, you know, some of them not even scoring. You would have thought they were on a bye by how many points they scored. Kind of embarrassing. But whatever. Not my problem. And I would never make that. I would never make that mistake. I'm smarter than that. But how are you feeling about your fantasy team? Are you confident? Are you iffy? Let me know. So I have 2 leagues that I'm in, both big money leagues. Okay. Not going to tell you how much. Unless you're in the league and you're commenting, you're watching live, then you already know. But what league am I more confident in? Probably the Gin Sports Network Fantasy Football League. Just because I got Pat Mahomes. Okay. I got Miles Sanders. I got Kareem Hunt. I got Julio Jones. Didn't do too well this week, but I got Julio Jones. I got DJ Shark. Did very well for me. And this is going to be a huge target for Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. Tyler Higbee also did a great job. And I would like to see Matt Stafford choose Higbee on those over-the-top tight end dumps, you know, a little bit of waggle action. I would like to see the waggle a little bit more personally. But to see him being used as a target, I like to see that. And obviously Marquise Brown, he's at 15.2 right now with a touchdown, 4 for 4 receptions, 52 yards. And I'd like to get those numbers into the hundreds, but we might be asking a little too much at this point. And then you got Marvin Jones. He's getting into his stride as an NFL player. Also going to be a major target for Trevor Lawrence. And if we know anything from watching Trevor Lawrence in the quarterback position, even back at Clemson, we know that he likes to travel through the air. Yes, he can run the ball, but only in 9-1-1 situations. Okay, he likes to travel through the air. And then you got Greg Zuerlein, which he kind of gave me. He gave me some high blood pressure this week. Missing a lot of short field goals. And then the worst part is he made the one that counted for the Dallas team. Thank God my Bucks still came through and won, because I talked a lot of shit to people who are going to remain nameless on my Gin and Tonic video. Hopefully all you guys saw that. If you didn't, go navigate to our link tree on our YouTube channel, check it out. But I would have fell through on a lot of promises if that wouldn't have happened. And I recorded the video probably halfway through the game, so that had to hit. Thank God it happened in my favor, and everything went smoothly from there. And then Buffalo's defense, not impressive against Pittsburgh, and I need to see more out of them going forward in the season. Period. End of story. Chase Bailey with a comment. 3-2 this week in fantasy. Justin Herbert has me a tad nervous. Have him in every league. I love Miles Sanders preseason. Have a lot of him as well. Okay, yeah, like I said, Chase, really early still. Don't get too discouraged, and you can have it both ways. It's a double-edged sword in saying, "Oh my God, we got the ball back? Did they not? Did they lose it on fourth? Oh my God, go Lamar! Give him that block. Okay, all right, we'll take first down. Wow, we held them to 7, boys. But basically, what I was saying is it's hit or miss. You can have all your eggs in one basket, or you can spread them out. Some of them might work if that one player that you have in every team, however many teams you have, if they go off that week, then that's going to help all of your teams. But if they play like shit, then that's going to, it's going to hurt every single one of your teams. So that's something you got to worry about and got to watch for going into. And that's basically the gamble you take. Just as much as it is the gamble you take by having, 3 different quarterbacks. Like I have Pat Mahomes and I have Dak Prescott, but I have some backups where I could throw them in there whenever I want to. And whoever I play, that's based on how I make that determination that week. But it's a crapshoot going into every single week and figuring out, okay, who am I going to play as a quarterback? Who's going to be my, my flex quarterback if that's an option? Who am I going to sit? Who am I going to, whatever. Make those different determinations, but whatever determination you make sure you ride with it and live with the results of that. And that's something that I know that you'll do. You're a very smart human being, and I know you have the capabilities of doing. So best of luck to you, Chase, in all of your leagues, and hope you do well. How have you done, Chase? I just want to pick your brain a little bit. How have you done in the past as far as fantasy is concerned? Because everybody's answers are different. Some people are saying, oh, yeah, I just auto pick every single year and I always make it to the playoffs. Oh man, I almost won the league last year. I was just closing my eyes and just picking random players I didn't even know, sleepers. And I got people telling me, people that have been doing fantasy for years that have never made it to the playoffs. And it's just like, what? And then you got other people that, on the same token as the first thing, people that have never played fantasy and they come out their first year and win it all. Like, how does that happen? Is it completely based on luck? Is it like playing the lottery? Or is there actual skill involved, especially pre-season, pre-draft? Those are questions that need answering. And I don't know if anyone's going to have a good answer for me because I think they're all kind of determined on the league, determined on the format, and just the luck of the draw and how that season pans out. Let's watch this drive from Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, though, now. Really looking forward to this. Hopefully we can punch it in, put us back in our 30, our back, what was it, 27. Let's get a big gain here. Oh, my God. Marquise Brown just completely sprawls out and just ragdolls on the ground and gets hit for a gain of 3. You can't be taking too many hits like that. If you guys are watching this game, it's kind of a scary hit. Great catch. Snagged it, but he's sitting down on his ground and just gets pounded by that middle linebacker. Like, that don't look good. Kwiatkowski must be a Polak. But yeah, I mean, just to talk about Allegiant Stadium and my trip at Vegas, stadium looks beautiful. Hasn't seen crowds like this ever. I don't think a game of football has ever been played in it. And if it has, it wasn't with any fans. Really beautiful stadium. Drove by it. And my hotel, the Luxor, is right next to it in Vegas, right next to the Mandalay Bay and the Las Vegas sign. Just on the other side of the highway. Really beautiful arena. And they built it just for the Las Vegas Raiders once they made the move from Oakland. So, state of the art. Really impressed. But I'm hoping the Baltimore Ravens will pull it out tonight. 4th down, looks like they're going to take a punt. Kind of a piss-poor performance on the offensive side of the ball. And it looks like the end of the 3rd quarter is upon us. So does that mean no points have been scored in the 3rd quarter? No. Take a look at that screen. What's the over-under? 51. What are we at, 27? Under's looking pretty good, guys. I'm pretty sure you can live bet the over-under, too. Let me and just so everyone knows, I use the BetMGM Sportsbook app, leading the world in sports betting. They got a big poster of the BetMGM Sportsbook on one of the sides of the Luxor. Really beautiful stuff. I encourage you to check it out. Yes, the over-under current odds are at 40.5. So if you smash that under, feeling pretty good right now. Chase, I have 14 fantasy championships in the last 8 years across those 5 leagues. 14 fantasy championships. I mean, you're going to need a couple people to hold all those rings. Come on now. That's impressive, Chase. That's impressive. Well, I need any fantasy help. I need any, who do I want to draft off wagers? Who do I want to off waivers? Who do I want to trade for this position? How many of this position do I want to stack up so I don't run out? Maybe I want to have multiple, especially in the 3 flex league. I want to have a quarterback and another quarterback that aren't going to be on a bye week. And, just to kind of smooth out the gap, I want to make sure I have a third quarterback that I can play. If any 1 or even 2 are on a bye, then in that case, I'd need 4. So things to consider, and I'll be coming to you with those questions. That sounds so conceited on my part. I apologize. Whew. I'm glad you said that. But I think it sounds very impressive. And I don't think it sounds conceited at all. And just because you said that, I got to look up the definition of conceited. So we'll just put that on the screen real quick for Chase. Conceited, excessively proud of oneself. And then semicolon, vain. And then they give us an example. Fred's so conceited, he'd never believe anyone would refuse him. Fred sounds like a dickhead. But back to your point, Chase, I don't think you sound conceited at all. I think it's just confidence, knowing your stuff. And it's allowing the numbers to speak for themselves. So congrats, brother. I'm proud of you. And I wish I could say I had those same accolades, but I don't. Is my league a super flex? Like, can you start a QB in your flex? Yes. So when I say a 3 flex league, it is a super flex. And wow, big hit whiff right there. Big hit whiff. Super flex. Yeah. So if you can see this here, maybe you can see it on my screen. Maybe you can't. This is I gotta go the other league. So the league. So if I go down here, here's my quarterback, my running back, wide receiver. I got 3 wide receivers, tight end, and then wide receiver, running back, tight end, wide receiver, running back, tight end. So that's pretty standard for a regular flex. Then you got WRTQ, which I think that's the super flex position you're talking about. So in that case, it would be a super flex. I wonder if there's a way for me to see the format of the league that I'm in. But it's so customizable now. I don't know if they all have names for them or not. So just kind of one of those things. Going on 53 minutes, guys. I'll probably stay on. Might as well stay on for at least a little bit more. I want to watch a couple more drives so I can sleep tonight. And that better not be a flag. Thank God. Wow. The refs actually kept their flags in their pockets. Might have been the first time tonight. Now, here's a bone to pick I have. Here's a bone to pick that I have, rather. And it's something that's very prevalent. It happens all the time. It happens in NFL, happens in college, happens everywhere. But what I'm talking about is, I think you know what I'm going to say. It's pertinent to what I just said. Pass interference calls. Are people over-calling pass interference calls or not? Please answer that question for me, because I don't know. I feel like they're over-calling them. I like to see the let the boys play. Obviously, if it's a call in my favor, then I'm fine with that. We got a false start against the Raiders. We're liking it a lot. I think redo second down, 5-yard penalty, nothing too big to sweat about. But are the calls over-called? And something that's more, more pertinent in college than NFL is targeting calls. I think targeting calls are overused. Obviously, you get one targeting call and you're out. They do the review. They do everything to make sure it was a targeting call. But at what point does it not become football anymore? I understand you got to look at CTE protocols. You got to look at things like that. Oh, we sack him for minus 30 yards. Come on, baby. Whoo. Oh, man, he's vibing. He's just happy to be alive right there. Are they overusing the calls, or are they completely necessary? I think sometimes they are necessary, but other times they're overused. Because I've seen some calls that are called targeting calls that should never have been called. Shouldn't even have raised any eyebrows. But then I see other ones that are, blatant. Looks like blatant targeting calls, and they're not even called. So at what point do you draw the line? You got to crash that. All right, 3rd and 28. Not a chance in hell. Not a chance. Derek Carr, you're losing it, bud. Once they snap off those 2 buckles, that's how you know. Thank you guys for everyone that's still tuning in. I appreciate you guys a lot. If you're new to watching this stream or watching this show, feel free to drop me your name and introduce yourself. I'd love to put your comment on the screen so we can introduce you to everybody and have you get acclimated to the entire community. We like to have you, and hope you guys understand and appreciate my commentary. Hopefully I'm not boring you to death. For all you guys that have been here the entire hour, thank you. I appreciate it. And I have a lot of fun doing this type of stuff. I can talk and sit here for hours if I want to, but I don't think anyone wants that. So you see our email at the bottom of the screen. Feel free to shoot us an email with any inquiries, any questions, any concerns, any suggestions that you have you want to send us our way. betwithgin@gmail.com. I will respond to you in 1 business day. We have multiple people now watching and monitoring that email box. So if you want to shoot us an email, go ahead and do that. All right, offensive start here from Lamar Jackson from the 19. Big gain. Looks like from Marquise Brown. Gets about 14. And that's going to just help my fantasy team a lot. So maybe we can watch these stats just grow and grow and grow. And I'm toast for this one. Look at this one. So it puts them to 1650, unless they didn't add the yard yet. Yep, there we go, 1890. You just seen an update. You saw it there first. 1890. What do we need to tie? 155 to 160. I mean, we get another touchdown. We're in business. I don't know if I like that 3%. See that 3% right here? You got to put that up at like 20 or 30. Come on now. Okay, Travis Keggy, me and 810 Major are battling. Let's check that out. It's in the Gen Sports Network Fantasy Football League. We'll check that out right now. So here we go. Team Pony Keg and Team 810 Major. You guys are battling. Kenyon Drake, 8.4. You know, anyone on your bench. So you're basically riding on Kenyon Drake. You're at 94% right now. I mean, that's a big change. It was a lot more even when I just saw this a second ago. Oh my God, and he loses the football. Oh my God. I think the floor caused the foul or caused the fumble. Stand by. You guys are watching this, you're probably going fucking crazy like I am. Jeez. Lamar Jackson, that is, I mean, to talk about what you're talking about, if this stands, that's going to help you out, Keg. It's going to help you out. Oh, my God, it came out before the ground. That's a clean fumble. That's just inexcusable. That's inexcusable from a quarterback. Wow, it's crazy, too, because we were just talking about that, Keggy. Talking about your matchup. You're looking at 166.8 for Major. You're at 174.14. I mean, that's huge. That's huge. And I don't think they've even updated the scores yet, so let's watch him update it. He stands at 15.4. Let's see if that goes down any. Should go down if he's got a forced fumble. It's calculating. That's a big hit. That's a big hit. And I hope you guys are watching this game live with me. If you're not, try to tune in on your phone, either on the stream and then watch the game on TV, because I'm giving you live commentary right now. Can't showcase the game on the screen because you got copyright laws. Yeah, feed Drake the damn ball. Feed him. Might as well. Might as well at this point. At this point, my bet doesn't hit because of Kenyon Drake. Then I'm feeling pretty good. I really don't want to see. I don't know. We just bailed him out, though, as far as I'm concerned. Brings up 3rd and 1. Probably look for a run here from Kenyon Drake. maybe. We'll see. But yeah, you guys are battling now. Look there, he just went down from 1540 to 1260. So he just lost 3 points on that forced fumble. Incredible. And that's kind of, I want to say that's uncharacteristic of someone like Lamar Jackson. But after seeing that, I don't know if I could stand by that statement. And we hold him. Can we hold him? They got it. He got it. He got pissed. He got pissed off and got it. Yeah, they got Jacobs in there right now, so they might feed Drake here for a touchdown if they get close. They're moving down the field so good, though. Jeez. Timeout. Oh, we got a flag on the play. Maybe delay of game. Who knows? Who knows? Monday Night Football, guys. It's the first week of Monday Night Football. So happy to have football back. And it's been too long. In my opinion, it's been too long since we've had football. And I call it the best time of the year. Fall, my favorite season. Just because of the leaves and the weather and all that. 2, fall means football season. So that means NFL and college football. College football is obviously in my repertoire, but you can't count NFL out. NFL is kind of like automatic. You don't know NFL, and it's just like, what are you doing? But I really like to get invested in college football. So if you haven't already, check out the Gin College podcast. Just posted our last episode on Friday with my co-host, Cody Almasi. Really happy to have him part of the team. And he's been doing a lot of great work for us. So make sure you're tuned into that on Apple Podcasts. Right now, it's part of the Gin Sports Network podcast, which is basically the main podcast of Gin Promotions. But at some point, we will be breaking that off into its own entity. Apple Podcasts is something new. It's kind of groundbreaking, where they have channels you can add. We're gonna have the Gin Sports Network be its own channel. We're gonna have different podcasts hosted underneath that umbrella. So look forward to individual podcasts being hosted within the Gin Sports Network channel on Apple Podcasts, where you can find all the great podcasts. I know most of you guys are using the Apple Podcasts app. For all you iPhone users out there, for all you Androiders, don't know what to tell you. Check us out on Spotify, though. We're on Spotify for you guys, so hopefully you have a Spotify subscription and you can listen in on Spotify. So really crazy. Travis Kagi with the one last comment. I'm going to sign off here soon, guys. Going to watch the rest of the fourth quarter in peace. If you have any more comments, shoot them my way. You know how to get a hold of me. Travis Kagi, you have to have a good defense to hold the Ravens to 17 points. I completely agree. They're an offensively heavy team. They're going to want to score points. I thought they're going to score 34 tonight easily. Obviously, the bookies did too with an over-under of 51. But doesn't look like that's going to be the case tonight. Hopefully they can hold out and still cover the spread. But it's looking iffy going late. It's looking iffy. If somehow the Raiders cover the spread, then that's going to be a feat in and of itself, even if they lose the game. And essentially they could lose by a field goal and still cover. So we'll see how it pans out, guys. But I'm going to sign off now. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this live stream on Monday Night Football Showcase live watch party with the Gin Commish, John J. II, your host for a lot of podcasts, a lot of shows on here on this platform. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'll let you go. Have a great night, and I'll be in touch this week. See ya.